Good morning.
Good morning.
It is a great day to be a Grambling Tiger, but more importantly, a G-Man. Football season is upon us, and our student athletes are excited about the opportunity to play some football, to hit some other people that they have not hit. They're kind of tired of beating on each other, so we're glad that this week is here, and we're looking forward to the opportunity. Just a little bit about the head football coach, Coach Ray Woodard. Is a coaching and also a playing legend. He's from the Texas area. He's been a exceptional athlete. Played at the University of Texas, but then also too he's been a great coach. Has coached some professional football, some high school football in the Texas area, and we all know how successful high school football is in the state of Texas. But he brings a wealth of knowledge and a wealth of ability and experience to Lamar University. I've been knowing Coach Woodard for a while from my stint at McNeese State University, where I coached there and coached against his teams. He's done a great job of bringing the program up to speed. He brought the program back. This is his 5th season there, and they've set and shattered tons of records since he's been at Lamar University. On last year, they opened the season playing Louisiana Tech, and they actually had Louisiana Tech on the ropes, so he does a good job of making sure his teams are ready to play, making sure that everything's intact when the season begins. So we're going to have our work cut out for us, but we're excited about the opportunity to compete against someone else. Last year, they held number 2 Sam Houston to a close-knit affair, played very well in that football contest, and then they also played well against Central Arkansas. So they're a very, very successful program, and they do a great job there. 2 of his coordinators that he brought along with him, Larry Kuak, who's the offensive coordinator, he's done a great job. A lot of people don't know him, but he's responsible for being the offensive coordinator at Marshall, back in Marshall's heyday when they were really scoring a lot of points and doing a great job there with Byron Lethwich. This is his 2nd stint back at Lamar University, so he's also from the state of Texas and has done a great job coaching there also as well. The defensive coordinator at Lamar is Craig McGallen, who's been in the state of Texas for a number of years. He's a high school coaching legend and has been around in several high schools and is very, very well respected in the state of Texas. But at this time, I'll talk and answer any questions that you guys may have, and then I'll allow my coordinators to come up.
Just from going through this practice leading up to this first game, have you finally decided on who's going to start this week?
Well, we don't necessarily want to reveal that just yet. We still have a week left of preparation, so they still have time to impress us. But we do have 3 guys that are worthy candidates, and we'll let you guys know Saturday when they run out.
Coach, last Saturday you talked about obviously there's still a few more steps you got to take care of. What's happened in the last 5 that makes you feel any better about next weekend?
Well, last week we wanted to make sure that we tightened up some screws. We wanted to make sure that we were good as far as substitutions, running on and off the field, knowing who should be on the field and who should not. Because normally in your opening contest, that's some of the mistakes that happen. You know, having 12 men on the field, not having enough on the field, and so forth. So we wanted to make sure we tie up some bolts and loose ends to make sure that we can be on the field and have the proper people in place.
Do you still plan on playing 2 quarterbacks?
We do. We still plan on playing 2 quarterbacks. Now, if the starter is really lighting it up and playing well, then I'm pretty sure we'll just stick with that person. But we plan to play 2 because it's kind of difficult to know who's going to play well under the lights. Some people play better under the lights than in a scrimmage or practice type setting. So we want to make sure that we're fair and do a great job of evaluating.
How would that work? Rotating series, snaps?
We plan to bring in the second quarterback around the 3rd series, the offensive series, and that's been the plan all along. We talked about that plan. Coach Dooley and myself talked about that all summer long. That's the plan, is to bring in the second quarterback around the 3rd series. But like I said, if the starting quarterback is playing well and we're moving the ball a great deal, then we'll stick with what we got.
Do you have a rotation for the running backs that you kind of established that you think you want to go with? Or
I pretty much leave that up to our position coaches. They pretty much decide the rotation. But what we plan to do here at Grambling State University is play tag team football. We don't plan to play one person an entire game because a game is 4 quarters, and we want to make sure that we're playing hard and playing fast the entire time.
Coach, as it relates back to what Sean was saying, as it relates to alternating quarterbacks, so it really doesn't matter who your starter is. They both got to be prepared to run this football team.
Exactly, and that's what's key, and that's what they've been told. They understand that, but the evaluation under the lights is a totally different deal than evaluating when no one's in the stands. And some kids play better under the lights and with a crowd than they do just in a practice type setting. So we want to make sure that we make the proper decision.
having said that, what goes into this last week of evaluation, since you said obviously people play differently under the lights?
Well, basically it becomes more about practicing well and who's more efficient moving the ball down the field in practice and understanding the scheme and understanding the plan that we want to actually implement. So that's basically what this week is about, and also it's a gut feeling to make sure that we're going with the right person, because once we decide, we don't want to retract and go back, because it's about reps and it's about repetition, and make sure that those guys are able to spend enough time with the receivers, with the offensive line, communicating and getting the plan in place.
Coach, we talked a little bit about defense, I think last week and a couple times speaking previous. I mean, it doesn't matter how many points you score. You got to be able to stop people this year, and that's been a problem here.
Well, it has in the past, and that's something that we feel is a strong suit of us. We feel that we have some athletes defensively, but just like anyone else, we have to execute the plan. Our defensive staff has done a great job in putting a plan in place. We put a plan into place, and we're continuing to finish that up the rest of this week. So we're excited about it, and main thing is that we want to make sure that we're playing hard, and we feel if we're playing hard and playing tag team football, we'll have a chance at the end of the day.
How important is this game for you just to get your tenure here at Grambling off to a right start?
I think it's important. I think it's important. The mindset is the most important thing, because the mind controls the body. And, I think it's good to put a good showing out there, but more importantly, the game is about blocking and tackling and execution. So that's our focus since we've been practicing, and that's even more of a focus this week, is to make sure that we're blocking, making sure we're tackling, and then make sure we're executing the plan.
What's changed for you just being a head coach now in terms of game preparation, just getting through this week?
Well, what's changed as far as being a head football coach? All of this. Normally I would be in film study or looking at film or evaluating an opponent, but this is an adjustment for myself. It's a fun adjustment because it's something that I've always wanted to do, and I'm just excited about this week. When you're able to go outside and you can smell the grass, freshly cut grass, it tells you that football season is here, and we're excited about it.
I know you haven't told us, and you have no plans to reveal the quarterbacks to us, but when will you inform those guys?
We'll probably let them know towards the middle to the end of the week. We really haven't talked about exactly the specific day that we'll let them know, but they'll know in plenty enough time, to be ready and prepared to play.
So I take it you're not worried about them not really knowing and going in with it. I mean, you don't really see two quarterback systems often anymore.
No, you don't. But I'm not concerned about it because even when I was here, I found out I was starting my sophomore year when we were warming up before the game when they called the starting lineup. So we've always told our players to be prepared and be ready to play, because even if you do list a starter, it takes only one play for the second guy to end up in the game. So it's important that you're always ready to play. So I think they're prepared and they're ready for that.
How long does this day feel like, and this week feel like, since when you got hired in December, I think it was?
Well, it was going kind of fast for a while, and this last couple of weeks have kind of slowed down, a great deal, and I'm anxious and excited. I normally don't get too anxious because I'm more laid back. But I am excited and anxious for this opportunity, just to see where we are and to be tested. I think it's important, and I think it's competition is good, because it allows you to see where you are, and then you go back to the drawing board and continue to work and get better. The whole key for us is we just want to make sure that we improve every week and play extremely hard every week, and we feel that we have the coaches and the players in order to do that.
What do you think it'll take to develop a rhythm on offense in this first game? I know that's something you want to do to make sure that the defense isn't on the field as long.
I think it's a matter of us playing together. The only way to get rhythm is to actually play, and we've been practicing and been working on developing that rhythm. But in order to develop that rhythm in a game, you have to just play, and you know it when you see it. So it's just a matter of playing the game.
With their quarterback and running back know they're back, and I saw them play at Louisiana Tech last year, and their quarterback had a season high, almost threw for 400 yards against Grambling last year. Have you got a chance to study them on tape at all, and what have you liked or seen that you think they do well?
Well, I think they do a great job in the skill position areas. I think Caleb Berry has a lot of talented players to play with, and even a sophomore running back. They try to spread you out and get you in space and allow those guys to make plays, and not very difficult throws, which a lot of offenses are doing these days, but he's done a great job of throwing football, and he's been very successful, and if you just look at the record books at Lamar, he's shattered pretty much a lot of the records that they've had there, and even the sophomore running back that they have also too, so they're an exciting bunch, and they're coming in with a little bit of confidence, especially with what happened last season, but it's a new season, so we're excited. We're just excited to get at it.
Just from what you've seen before the season started, what do you think the identity of this team is?
I think the identity of this team is a blue-collar team that plays extremely hard and plays extremely fast. And I think that's a really good question, because it's important that you know what you are as a team. And we feel that we're a fast team, but you have to play that way. So that means that we want to make sure that we're playing with the right tools in the shed. So if we play extremely fast and play to our capabilities, I think we'll have a chance. We have to play extremely hard.
In light of the fact that you've coached Nice in recent years, a couple times and all, does that give you any kind of, I don't know, advantage, but you should know a little bit about Lamar. Do you think that gives you any kind of a...
Well, other than knowing a little bit about Lamar, yes, but no, because, I've had to take time to learn my team here at Grambling State University. So it does allow you to know a lot about the opponent, but at the same breath, they've made some changes to the pieces to their puzzle as well. So, the first game is always a bunch of question marks and unknowns. So a lot of things you have to adjust on the run and just play hard when you get there.
Just on that note, how prepared are you to make adjustments, since it's your first game as a head coach and it's the first game of the season? Like you said, there's a lot of things that happen just in the first game. So just address how you can go through all that.
I think I'm very well prepared. I've been coaching since 1997, and I've always kept a notebook with me everywhere I've gone. So any adjustments or any changes that have actually occurred in any situations that we've been in, I've always jotted that down in a notebook, and basically every day I go through them. So it's just important that you do that, and when you've been coaching since 1997, I think that I understand it now.
A couple weeks ago we discussed the offensive line and how they need to come along. Since then, how have they developed?
They've developed a bunch. The main thing is basically making sure we're on the same page, making sure that we're aggressive, making sure we're playing with proper technique, because one thing about playing up front, you have to be very smart to play offensive line, because the game happens so fast up front. The margin of error is very, very small. So it's important that everyone is on the same page and everyone is playing aggressive and making sure that we have a good base when we're playing the game.
Assess how important the start of this game is. Just like you said, since the beginning of the season, both teams are trying to get a rhythm established on offense and defense.
I think the most important thing is to maintain our composure, because if you look all across the country on Saturday, everyone's going to be excited, everyone's going to be ready to play. It's not going to take much to get your team up for the contest. So the main thing is to make sure we remain composed and play under control. You still want to be aggressive and you still want to play fast, but there has to be a little bit of balance in there. And that's something that I think is important for us to harp on as a staff, is to make sure that, yeah, we want to be aggressive, we want to be fast, we want to be excited about playing, but you have to maintain your composure, because normally cooler heads prevail.
At this point, with almost a week left till the opener, do you still feel the defense is ahead of the offense?
I do. I do feel our defense is a little bit ahead of our offense, but in the same breath, you know, it's kind of hard to explain, because you've been playing against each other for so long. You know, 15 days of spring practice, all summer long, they see everything, and then also in training camp, you know, they practice against each other for 29 days. So defense should be ahead of the offense, you know, and every situation I've been in, you know, when the defense is ahead and the offense responds, we've always been successful. So I'm kind of excited about it.
I know you don't like to talk about last year, but the defense, I guess, what makes you confident that the defense will be improved from last year?
Because this is 2014, and last year was 2013.
Coach, one of the little small things in a game like this, as much as they throw it around and pass it, you're going to play that full court basketball offense and stuff. This could be a 4-hour game come Saturday, so the little small things you got to take care of.
Exactly.
Staying hydrated and keeping your head in the game, that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
It's going to be a long night in Beaumont.
Well, the good thing about living here, you know, you definitely know about being hydrated. If not, you know, you're not going to be practicing very long. So that's something that our kids are used to. You know, they're understanding how important it is to eat proper food, make sure they got nourishments in their body, but also drink a lot of water. You know, that's important.
This term basketball on grass, what does that mean to you?
It means playing fast, playing hard, and I think it also means playing to your strengths, because we feel we have some kids that can run, you know, and it's important that we play to our strengths.